welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Nile Cruise, and now we're going to talk about a very interesting site, which is the Qunsowa Al Ghuri complex in the heart of Cairo. It is built in the 16th century by Sultan Qunsowa Al Ghuri, and this unique architectural site marvel stands as a testament to the grandeur, drama, and ingenuity of the late Mamluk era. And to talk more about this site, we are very delighted to have with us here Mr. Emad Hamdy. He is a tour guide. Thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Mr. Emad, tell us more about the Qunsowa Al Ghuri complex.
This is one of the most significant buildings in Cairo, located in the heart of Mu'izz Street, dated back from the 16th century, as you just mentioned. And it's one of the most beautiful architectural buildings and foundations ever built in the heart of the Islamic Quarter. Actually, when Qunsowa Al Ghuri decided, when he decided to add this complex, he built it on the both sides of the street, and that was on purpose, just to let everyone come to the place to walk through this part and to see how beautiful is Mamluk architecture dates back from the 16th century.
And how did the design of the striking four-headed minaret break away from traditional Mamluk architecture?
It was very unusual just to have a minaret like this built during the 16th century. And as we just mentioned, it's quite significant because it refers to the four sects of Islam, or the four schools, the Shafi'i, the Maliki, the Hanbali, and the Hanafi sects, as the four sects were already being taught into this complex. So he built a minaret to tells everyone that the four sects are quite equal and being taught in this building. And when you see the building from a distant point, you just see the shops located at the bottom, and the school and the mausoleum locates above. And this is also very interesting because most of the people who work in trade who comes to the place, they just comes to this point in particular to pay their tax. So it's being built as a duty-free shops of Cairo during the 16th century. As many people don't know that the end of the Silk Road ends by the Phoenician coast. So most of the foreign trade comes to Cairo, as Cairo was the heart of the Islamic world during the 16th century.
So this area was free trade area?
Exactly. That many people
It's
don't
quite
really know this.
interesting. Never know.
Many people don't really know this, as most of the foreign traders, for example, you just bring spice from India and silk from Venice, and you can find both things in Cairo. And that was very, very interesting and quite significant during the 16th century.
Mr. Emad, what is the dramatic historical irony behind why the Sultan Al Ghuri was not buried in this magnificent mausoleum?
According to our history, the king or the Sultan Qunsowa Al Ghuri died mysteriously in the Battle of Mark Dabek. That was fought between the Egyptians and the Ottomans. And actually during the 16th century, the rising power of the Ottomans was very remarkable. And the Ottomans threatened to occupy Egypt many times. And the late Mamluk leaders delayed the interference of the Mamluk, of the Ottoman invasion to Egypt. At the end, when the Sultan Qunsowa Al Ghuri decided to invade Egypt, he fought the last Sultan Qunsowa Al Ghuri in one of the battles called Marj Dabek, and after the battle we didn't find the body of the Sultan. That's why we don't have his body being buried into the complex, although earlier the Sultan decided to build a bigger complex to house his mausoleum inside it, but we never have any corpses or anybody ever buried in this place.
And Mr. Emad, tell us more about the Sabil Kutab within the complex, which serves the local community and daily life in the 16th century in Cairo.
In Cairo was very common when a sultan or when one of the Muslim rulers have his building in the heart of the Islamic quarter, he normally add what's called as a kutab, which is a structure, a wooden structure built above the sabil. And the sabil is a public place built over a cistern, provide the people with a drinking water, especially those simple people who don't really own a way to obtain a source for pure water to drink. So this is a drinking water for free for everyone being added in the complex of the Sultan as a part of his duty to provide pure drinking water for everyone. So he added the sabil first. And above the sabil he built what's called as a kutab. And the kutab is like a primary school teaching young students how to read the Quran in a proper way. So the sabil and the kutab is one of the most famous dependencies added into the complex of the Sultan. And it provides its services for everyone. Those who can't afford the expenses of education can send their kids or their children to the kutab so they can teach or being taught how to read the Quran in a proper way. The traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, for example, peace upon him. And also for the sabil, it also, as we just said, it provides pure water for everyone. So those two different little things being added in the complex, showing the superiority and power of the Sultan, and also the lavish life of the people in Cairo during the 16th century.
That's amazing. Also, Mr. Emad, how crucial was the complex Wikala to the commercial trade routes passing through Cairo? You just mentioned that there was a free trade area. Tell us more about this area and the Wikala area.
Cairo and Damascus earlier becomes one of the two of the most famous
shopping centers
in the region, actually. Yeah. And as we just said, the Silk Road that starts from China ends by the Phoenician coast, which is now modern Lebanon. And from modern Lebanon, we can pass the trade to different other places, like the Aegean region, which is a part of modern Greece, and Asia Minor, which is now Turkey. And subsequently, Egypt was a part of this. So Egypt have a famous city called Cairo, and Cairo is one of the most trade centers in the region. And when we just get back earlier in time, we will just find that the name of the Wikala is known also as a caravanseria. And the caravanseria is like a modern hotels for the traders who come from different places in the region. And when they bring their goods and their stuff to Cairo, they will have a great chance to interact with other foreign traders in the region, like people who comes from North Africa and Morocco, or even the foreign traders comes from Greece and Turkey, and some others from Africa. They all met in Cairo, and they can have good deals and good trade in Cairo. So the center of this Wikala with other places in Cairo becomes one of the most famous trade centers. As we just said, it was like a duty-free shop. So part of their goods being paid for the government as a tax, while the other part used in the purpose of the trade. So when you go there, it's very interesting to see the shops, which is still open. The place is a trade place for more than 600 years now, one of the oldest on this planet. And also the places where the traders can enjoy their stay in Cairo for a few days before getting back all the way to their origin places or their countries.
And how did this area, or the Wikala area and the shopping area, was transformed now into a modern venue for Sufi Tanura performances?
It's one of the most interesting, because when we just met some people from different countries, they ask us about if there any medieval old place in Cairo, so we can just find some entertainment or any cultural activities in this place. And actually the place of the Wikala becomes one of the most famous places in Cairo for playing what is known as a dervish show or the Tanura show. And this dervish show is a very old tradition, folk art in Cairo, known like centuries before. And it's it's one of the most famous activities in Cairo. So people who comes to Cairo enjoying their evening, walking around the Islamic Quarter, and they can walk around the Wikala, so they can enjoy the show of the dervish show, and how the people in Cairo used to interact with these activities like hundreds of years ago, and it's still functional. So people can go there and interact with such activities that will still being played in these places until now.
Yeah, and what is the best vantage point of time of the day you recommend for photographers trying to capture the majesty of these narrow facades?
Definitely the sunset.
Yeah, the golden hour.
This is a golden hour. Like I will say, like an hour before the sunset, people can walk around enjoying the, the tour around the Islamic Quarter. They can watch, because also when you go to the part of the Conso Al Ghauri complex, you will find that the complex built on either sides of the road of Al Mu'izz Street.
Yeah.
So if you just stand on the left-hand side of the street, or the side of the complex, you can find the sun sets behind the other part of the complex. So those professional photographers can enjoy their existence in this point by capturing remarkable photos for the sunset behind the second part of the complex that locates on the right-hand side.
Mr. Emad, how does Al Ghuri complex fit into Egypt's current broader vision for restoring and revitalizing the historic Cairo?
We just have plans for the conservation and the restoration of these buildings. Unfortunately, for years, the buildings in the entire part of Al Mu'izz Street was suffering soil, water, and a bad state of preservation. So the government paid a great attention and concern for the restoration of such buildings and restoring the heritage of Egypt, especially the Islamic part.
Yeah.
And now we are playing on making these places as a cultural centers, and also makes also the natives and the Egyptians know more about these places. And also it's a good way to attract more tourists and more people to these places during the high season.
And what is the most common light bulb moment or reaction that international travelers have when they step inside this space?
Well, their fascination,
Yeah.
their impressions is great. So you can watch this on their faces, the reactions of their faces. They are so much fascinated by the grandeur of the buildings, the colors, the inscriptions over the walls, the size of the pillars, and the size of the domes inside these buildings, either the right or the left-hand side of the complex. The good state of preservation that the building still enjoying is something really remarkable.
And if you are taking some tourists in a tour in this area, tell us more. What are they expected to see despite هعيد معلش السؤال ده تاني. Take two. Mr. Ahmed, and if you are taking a tourist in this area for a tour, what are the attractions that he will visit?
There is a lot of attractions. The Mu'izz Street is a very long street, located in the heart of Cairo. We have more than 1,800 meters as a walking distance between the old gates of Cairo. In the middle, we have different buildings, different mosques and complexes, and sabils and kutabs, mausoleums that dated from 5 different periods of the Islamic era, starting from the time of the 8th and 9th century until the time of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So there is a variety of buildings.
Yes.
There is numerous constructions around the place. So it's like an open museum. People can walk and enjoying their existence and their experience in this place.
And what is there a hidden inscription or overlooked architectural detail in the complex that casual tourists completely miss?
Yes, people who are really specialized in calligraphy can realize this, because over the ceiling and parts in the corners, you can realize the names and the titles given for Consoa Al Ghauri. I know that many people, especially who do really so much involved in archaeology, will never notice these inscriptions, but who studied archaeology and Islamic architecture can easily realize, and they can easily recognize where is the position and the locations of the inscriptions and the titles given for the famous Sultan, the last Sultan of Egypt during the 16th century.
And how do you view, Mr. Emad, the role of social media lately in promoting tourism and attracting tourists to come to visit these sites?
I wish they can do more improvement to make social media more attractive for these places. And I know that they played a crucial role recently, but we are looking for more.
Yeah, and if you could describe the true spirit of the Qunsoa Al Ghuri complex in just 3 words, what would they be?
This is one of the landmarks of the Islamic quarter of medieval Cairo.
Okay. Well, Mr. Emad Hamdy, the tour guide, thank you very much for joining us today in Nile Cruise.
My pleasure.
Thank you,
My
Mr.
pleasure.
Emad. Well, ladies